You have arrived here tonight carrying something within you. Perhaps it's a quiet longing for change, a whisper from your soul that says there must be more than this. Your eyes may be tired, your heart may feel heavy, but deep within, there's still a flame flickering with hope. You're not broken, you're not behind, you're exactly where you need to be in this moment. I want you to know that the very fact you're here, listening to these words in the sacred hours of night, means your higher self has already begun orchestrating your transformation. This isn't coincidence. This is divine timing. Your soul has been preparing for this moment longer than your conscious mind realizes. Tonight, we're going to explore something that mainstream science is only beginning to understand, yet ancient wisdom has known for millennia. The hours between sunset and sunrise hold a special kind of magic. Not the fantasy kind, but the real, measurable, scientifically backed magic of neuroplasticity, quantum coherence, and cellular regeneration. When you lay your head on your pillow tonight, your conscious mind begins to step aside, like a guardian taking a well-deserved rest. But your subconscious mind, that vast, infinite intelligence that runs every heartbeat, every breath, every cell division in your body, it never sleeps. It never stops listening. It never stops learning. And most importantly, it never stops creating your reality. Your subconscious mind is like a master gardener working in the darkness. While you sleep, it tends to the seeds of thought you've planted during the day. It waters them with emotion, gives them light through repetition, and helps them grow into the experiences you'll encounter when you wake. The question is, what kind of seeds have you been planting? For too long, many of us have been unconscious gardeners, allowing weeds of worry, doubt, and fear to take root in the fertile soil of our minds. We've whispered criticisms to ourselves, replayed failures, and focused on what we lack. And like any good gardener, our subconscious mind has faithfully grown exactly what we've asked for. But tonight, we change the garden. Tonight, we become conscious gardeners of our own destiny. Tonight, we plant new seeds. Seeds of possibility, of abundance, of love, of healing, of transformation. And we're going to do it in the most powerful way possible, through the sacred act of whispered intention. You see, when you whisper, something magical happens in your nervous system. Your voice becomes intimate, personal, like you're sharing a secret with the universe itself. Whispering activates your parasympathetic nervous system, that beautiful part of you that governs rest, healing, and regeneration. It tells your entire being, it's safe to receive, it's safe to change, it's safe to become. Scientists are discovering that the brain waves present during the transition from waking to sleeping create the perfect conditions for reprogramming. This twilight state, called the hypnagogic state, is when your conscious mind's critical faculty relaxes and your subconscious becomes incredibly receptive to new information. It's like having a direct line to the control center of your reality. Dr. Bruce Lipton's groundbreaking research in epigenetics has shown us that our genes are not our destiny. Our beliefs, our thoughts, our emotions, these are the signals that tell our cells how to behave, how to express, how to create health or disease, abundance or lack, joy or suffering. When you change the signal, you change the cell. When you change the cell, you change your life. But here's what most people don't understand. The most powerful signals are sent when your analytical mind is quiet, when your nervous system is calm, when your heart is open. This happens naturally as you prepare for sleep. Your brain waves slow down from the busy beta state of daytime thinking to the relaxed alpha state, then to the deep theta state where true transformation occurs. Tonight, you're going to learn to harness this natural process. You're going to discover words so powerful, so aligned with the fundamental laws of creation, that your entire reality will begin to shift from the inside out. These aren't just affirmations, they're sacred invocations, quantum commands that speak directly to the field of infinite possibility that surrounds and penetrates every atom of your being. I want you to release any pressure you might feel about doing this perfectly. There is no perfect. There's only the sincere intention of your heart meeting the infinite love of the universe. Your willingness to whisper these words with faith is enough. Your openness to receive is enough. You are enough. As we journey together through this sacred night, remember that transformation doesn't always announce itself with fanfare. Sometimes it arrives like dawn, so gradually, so gently, that you barely notice until suddenly the entire world is illuminated. Your life will begin to change quietly, almost imperceptibly at first. New opportunities will appear. Synchronicities will multiply. People will respond to you differently. You'll feel different in your own skin. This is the miracle of working with your subconscious mind during sleep. Change happens while you rest. Healing occurs while you dream. New realities are born while you surrender to the wisdom of your body's natural rhythms. Right now, as you listen to these words, there's an extraordinary intelligence operating within you that never takes a break, never gets tired, never stops working on your behalf. Your subconscious mind is orchestrating approximately 400 billion actions per second in your body. It's regulating your heartbeat, maintaining your body temperature, filtering toxins through your liver, growing your hair, healing cuts on your skin, and performing countless other miracles that you never have to consciously think about. This same intelligence that knows how to heal a wound and how to create a human being from 2 cells is also the intelligence that creates your external reality. It's constantly scanning your environment, looking for evidence that matches your deepest beliefs about yourself and the world. It's attracting people, circumstances, and opportunities that align with the vibrational frequency you're broadcasting. But here's where it gets truly fascinating. Your subconscious mind doesn't know the difference between what's real and what's imagined. It doesn't know the difference between what's happening now and what you're visualizing. It responds to the images, emotions, and thoughts you feed it as if they're actual experiences. This is why a dream can feel so real that you wake up with your heart pounding, or why thinking about your ex can make you feel the same emotions as if they were standing right in front of you. This characteristic of your subconscious mind isn't a flaw, it's a feature. It's the very mechanism through which you can consciously create your reality. When you repeatedly imagine yourself living your ideal life, feeling the emotions of already having what you desire, your subconscious mind begins to accept this as your new normal. It starts reorganizing your energy, your behavior, your perceptions to match this new self-image. The challenge is that most people are unconscious about what they're programming into their subconscious mind. They fall asleep worrying about bills, replaying arguments, or watching the news fill their minds with images of fear and scarcity. Then they wonder why their lives feel stuck, why abundance seems so elusive, why love feels so complicated. Your subconscious mind is like the most sophisticated computer ever created, but it's been running on outdated software. Programs installed during childhood, during moments of trauma, during times when you didn't know you had a choice about what to believe. These programs run automatically, creating patterns in your life that feel like fate, but are actually just habits of thought that have become so familiar you've forgotten their choices. Tonight, we're going to install new software. We're going to give your subconscious mind new instructions, new possibilities to explore, new realities to create, and we're going to do it during the hours when it's most receptive, most open, most ready to receive. Think about how much your life has changed simply from shifting your sleep schedule, or how different you feel after a good night's rest versus a restless one. Sleep isn't just physical recovery, it's mental, emotional, and spiritual restoration. During sleep, your brain literally cleans itself, washing away the metabolic waste that accumulates during waking hours. But it's also processing experiences, consolidating memories, and integrating new learning. This is why you sometimes wake up with solutions to problems you couldn't solve the day before. This is why they say to sleep on it when facing difficult decisions. Your subconscious mind continues working on whatever you've given it attention to, even while your conscious mind rests. When you begin whispering sacred words before sleep, you're essentially giving your subconscious mind a beautiful assignment for the night. Instead of processing worry and stress, it gets to work with visions of possibility. Instead of reinforcing old limitations, it gets to explore new potentials. Instead of maintaining the status quo, it gets to create transformation. Your subconscious mind loves repetition. Every time you repeat a thought, a phrase, an image, you're strengthening the neural pathways associated with that experience. Neuroscientists call this neurons that fire together, wire together. The more you repeat something, the more automatic it becomes. until eventually it's just part of who you are. This is why negative thought patterns can feel so sticky and persistent. They've been repeated so many times that the neural highways are well established. But it's also why positive affirmations, when done with genuine feeling and consistent repetition, can create such profound shifts. You're literally rewiring your brain for a new reality. The words you're going to learn tonight aren't just positive thinking. They're not just motivation or inspiration. They're precise instructions based on how consciousness actually creates reality. They're aligned with the fundamental principles that govern manifestation, attraction, and transformation. Your subconscious mind responds most powerfully to words that are spoken with genuine emotion, repeated with consistency, aligned with your authentic desires, delivered in a state of relaxation and receptivity. When you whisper these words as you drift towards sleep, you're creating the perfect conditions for deep, lasting change. Your nervous system is calm, your analytical mind is quiet, your heart is open, and your subconscious is ready to receive. It's like having a direct conversation with the part of you that actually has the power to transform your life. The beautiful thing about working with your subconscious during sleep is that the changes happen effortlessly. You don't have to struggle or force or push. You simply plant the seeds with your whispered words, and your subconscious does all the heavy lifting while you rest. You wake up a slightly different person than you were the night before. And if you do this consistently, those slight changes compound into miraculous transformation. There's something extraordinary happening all around you right now that your physical senses can't detect, but your consciousness can absolutely access. It's called the quantum field, an invisible ocean of pure potential that contains every possibility, every outcome, every version of your life that could ever exist. Modern physics has revealed what mystics and sages have known for thousands of years. At the most fundamental level, reality isn't made of solid matter. It's made of energy, frequency, and information. What we perceive as the physical world is actually consciousness expressing itself through countless possibilities, collapsed into the reality we experience based on where we place our attention and what we believe to be true. This isn't mystical fantasy. This is quantum mechanics. Dr. Amit Goswami, Dr. Fred Alan Wolf, and other pioneering quantum physicists have demonstrated that consciousness doesn't emerge from matter. Matter emerges from consciousness. You're not a body having a spiritual experience. You're a spiritual being having a physical experience, temporarily focused through the lens of a human nervous system. Every thought you think, every emotion you feel, every belief you hold sends ripples through this quantum field. These ripples attract corresponding experiences, people, and circumstances into your life. This is why two people can live in the same city, work in the same building, and have completely different experiences of reality. They're tuned to different frequencies in the field. Your current life is like a radio station you've been tuned to for so long that you've forgotten there are other stations available. The thoughts you think most often, the emotions you feel most frequently, the stories you tell yourself about who you are and what's possible, these determine which station you're receiving. But the beautiful truth is that you can change the channel anytime you choose. The quantum field doesn't judge your requests. It doesn't decide whether you're worthy or unworthy of your desires. It simply responds to the vibrational signature you're broadcasting. If you're broadcasting fear, lack, and limitation, the field delivers experiences that match that frequency. If you're broadcasting love, abundance, and possibility, the field delivers experiences that match that frequency instead. This is why the words you whisper before sleep are so powerful. As you transition from waking consciousness to sleep, your brain waves naturally slow down and enter what scientists call coherent states. In these states, your personal energy field becomes more organized, more powerful, more influential in the quantum field. When you whisper sacred words in this coherent state, you're not just thinking positive thoughts. You're actually sending a new signal into the field of infinite possibilities. You're broadcasting a new frequency that begins to attract people, circumstances, and opportunities that match your evolving vibration. Think about how a tuning fork works. When you strike one tuning fork, other tuning forks of the same frequency will begin to vibrate sympathetically, even from a distance. This is called resonance, and it's how the quantum field operates. When you consistently broadcast the frequency of your ideal life through your thoughts, emotions, and words, you begin to resonate with that reality in the field, and it starts manifesting in your physical experience. But here's what most people don't understand. The quantum field exists outside of time and space, as we normally experience them. Past, present, and future are all happening simultaneously in the field. This means that the version of you living your ideal life already exists as a possibility. Your job isn't to create that reality from scratch. It's to align yourself with it, to tune into that frequency, to become a vibrational match for what already exists. This is why the affirmations you'll learn tonight are phrased in present tense, as if your ideal life is already happening. Because in the quantum field, it is already happening. You're simply learning to access that parallel reality and bring it into your physical experience. Every night when you lay down to sleep, you're literally transitioning between dimensions of consciousness. Your awareness moves from the physical dimension of space and time into the quantum dimension of pure possibility. This transition naturally opens a doorway between what is and what could be. When you place sacred words at this threshold, you're programming the field to deliver new experiences. The mystics called this threshold the veil between worlds. Modern science calls it the collapse of the quantum wave function. But regardless of the terminology, the process is the same. Your consciousness, focused through intention and elevated through emotion, literally selects which possibility becomes your reality. This is why it's so important to approach this practice with reverence and gratitude. You're not trying to manipulate reality or force the universe to give you what you want. You're aligning yourself with the natural laws of creation. You're working in partnership with the intelligence that breathes life into every cell of your body and spins galaxies through space. When you whisper these words tonight, imagine that you're speaking directly to this infinite intelligence. Imagine that every word is heard, felt, and received by the loving consciousness that desires nothing more than to express itself as your joy, your abundance, your perfect health, your ideal relationships. The quantum field is always responding to you. The question is, what signal are you sending? Tonight, you begin sending a new signal. Tonight, you begin broadcasting the frequency of your transformed life. Tonight, you begin accessing possibilities that have been waiting patiently for you to remember they exist. Before we plant new seeds in the garden of your consciousness, we must first prepare the soil. Before we whisper sacred words that will transform your life, we must create the inner conditions that allow transformation to take root and flourish. This isn't about external preparation. You don't need candles or crystals or special music, though you're welcome to include them if they bring you comfort. This is about preparing your inner temple, that sacred space within your consciousness where healing happens, where miracles are born, where your connection to infinite possibility lives and breathes. Right now, I want you to begin settling into your body as if you're coming home to yourself after a long journey. Place one hand on your heart and one hand on your belly. Feel the rhythm of your heartbeat, that faithful drum that has been playing the song of your life since before you were born. Feel the gentle rise and fall of your breath, that sacred exchange between your inner world and the world around you. This is your body saying yes to life, yes to this moment, yes to the transformation that's already beginning. Your body is not just a vehicle for your consciousness. It's a living temple, a sophisticated antenna capable of receiving and transmitting the highest frequencies of love, healing, and creation. Every cell in your body is listening to you right now. Every cell is ready to receive new instructions, new possibilities, new ways of being. But first, we need to release what no longer serves you. Take a moment to scan your body with loving awareness. Notice any areas of tension, tightness, or discomfort. These are often places where old emotions, outdated beliefs, or accumulated stress have taken up residence. Don't try to fix or change anything right now. Simply acknowledge these areas with compassion. Now imagine that with each exhale, you're releasing anything that doesn't belong in your temple. Old hurts, ancient fears, inherited limitations, borrowed worries. Let them all flow out of your body like water running downhill. You don't need to identify or analyze what you're releasing. Simply trust that your body's wisdom knows exactly what needs to go. With each inhale, imagine that you're breathing in pure light, pure love, pure possibility. This light is intelligent, alive, aware. It knows exactly where to go in your body, what to heal, what to activate, what to awaken. Feel this light filling every cell, every organ, every system of your beautiful body. Notice how your breathing naturally wants to slow down and deepen as you do this. This is your nervous system shifting from the sympathetic state of doing and achieving into the parasympathetic state of being and receiving. This shift is essential for the work we're about to do together. In this relaxed state, your analytical mind, that part of you that constantly evaluates, judges, and compares, begins to quiet down. This isn't a problem to solve or a skill to master. This is simply your natural rhythm when you're not forcing or efforting. This is how you breathed when you were a child, when you still knew that magic was real and anything was possible. Now I want you to imagine that your heart is a door, and with each breath, this door is opening wider and wider. Behind this door is your authentic self, the you that exists beyond all the roles you play, all the masks you wear, all the stories you've told yourself about your limitations. This is the you that knows its own worth, that trusts its own wisdom, that remembers its connection to the infinite. As this door opens, feel yourself dropping deeper into a space of pure receiving. You don't need to do anything, achieve anything, or prove anything. You simply need to be present, open, available to the love and wisdom that wants to flow through you. Some nights your mind might be busy with the events of the day. This is completely natural and nothing to resist. Simply notice the thoughts like clouds passing across the sky of your awareness. You are not your thoughts. You are the consciousness observing your thoughts. From this spacious awareness, even busy thoughts become background noise that doesn't disturb your inner peace. If emotions arise during this preparation time, welcome them with the same loving awareness. Emotions are simply energy in motion, and they often surface when we create space for healing. Whether you feel sadness, joy, fear, or excitement, let these feelings move through you without trying to understand or explain them. Your heart knows how to process what needs to be processed. This inner temple you're creating isn't just for tonight's practice. This is a space you can return to anytime you need to remember who you really are. Anytime you need to reconnect with your power to create positive change. Anytime you need to feel held by something greater than your immediate circumstances. The more regularly you visit this inner temple, the easier it becomes to access. What might take several minutes of conscious breathing tonight will eventually happen with just one deep breath. You're training your nervous system to recognize this state and slip into it naturally. Feel your body completely supported by whatever surface you're resting on. Release any need to hold yourself up or hold yourself together. Let the earth hold you. Let gravity do its work. Let your muscles soften and your bones grow heavy. This isn't giving up or giving in. This is surrendering into your power, dropping into your strength, settling into your truth. From this place of deep relaxation and open receptivity, you're ready to receive the sacred words that will begin transforming your life. Your inner temple is prepared. Your consciousness is clear. Your heart is open. The stage is set for miracles to unfold through the power of your whispered intentions. Something remarkable happens in your body when you sleep that most people never consciously consider, yet it holds the key to transforming your entire life experience. During the hours of rest, your body doesn't just repair tissues and consolidate memories. It literally rewrites your genetic expression based on the thoughts, emotions, and beliefs that have occupied your consciousness throughout the day. Dr. Bruce Lipton's groundbreaking research in epigenetics has shown us that less than 2% of disease is actually caused by genetic defects. The remaining 98% is influenced by what he calls environmental signals. And the most powerful environmental signal your cells receive is your own consciousness. Every thought you think produces a biochemical reaction in your brain. Every emotion you feel releases corresponding hormones and neurotransmitters into your bloodstream. These chemical messengers travel throughout your body, binding to receptor sites on your cells, and essentially telling your cells how to behave, what proteins to produce, what functions to activate or suppress. When you consistently think thoughts of limitation, your cells receive chemical signals that promote stress, inflammation, and survival mode. When you consistently think thoughts of possibility and abundance, your cells receive chemical signals that promote healing, regeneration, and thriving. Your beliefs literally become your biology. But here's what makes the hours before and during sleep so crucial. This is when your cells are most receptive to new programming. During deep sleep, your body produces growth hormone, repairs DNA, strengthens your immune system, and consolidates the neural pathways that were most active during your waking hours. It's like your body is asking, what patterns should I strengthen? What beliefs should I encode more deeply? What reality should I prepare for tomorrow? When you fall asleep worried about money, your cells receive the message to prepare for scarcity. When you fall asleep feeling grateful and abundant, your cells receive the message to prepare for prosperity. When you fall asleep feeling unloved, your cells receive the message that love is dangerous or unavailable. When you fall asleep feeling cherished and worthy, your cells receive the message that love is your natural state. This isn't just metaphysical philosophy. This is measurable, scientific reality. Researchers have documented how chronic stress literally shortens telomeres, the protective caps on chromosomes that determine how long your cells can live. They've also shown how practices like meditation, gratitude, and positive visualization can lengthen telomeres and slow the aging process. Your nervous system doesn't distinguish between a real experience and one that's vividly imagined. When you recall a traumatic memory, your body produces the same stress chemicals as if the trauma were happening right now. When you vividly imagine your ideal life, your body produces the same feel-good chemicals as if that reality were happening right now. This is why the sacred words you're about to learn are so powerful. When whispered before sleep, you're not just thinking positive thoughts. You're literally bathing your cells in the chemistry of your desired reality. You're giving your body a blueprint for health, happiness, and abundance to work with during the night. During the deepest stages of sleep, your brain waves slow down to what scientists call delta frequency, between 0.5 and 4 Hz. In this state, your conscious mind is completely offline, but your subconscious mind is incredibly active, processing experiences, integrating learning, and literally restructuring neural networks based on what it perceives as important. This is why trauma can have such a lasting impact, not because the traumatic event is happening continuously, but because the memory of trauma gets rehearsed and reinforced every night during sleep. The neural pathways associated with fear, helplessness, and survival get strengthened while you're unconscious. But the same mechanism that can reinforce trauma can also create healing and transformation. When you consciously seed your subconscious with images and emotions of your ideal life before sleep, these positive patterns get rehearsed and reinforced during the night. The neural pathways associated with confidence, love, abundance, and joy get strengthened while you rest. Your pineal gland, sometimes called your third eye, also plays a crucial role in this process. During darkness, your pineal gland produces melatonin, which not only regulates sleep cycles, but also acts as a powerful antioxidant and appears to enhance spiritual experiences and intuitive insights. Many traditions believe that the hours before dawn are especially conducive to receiving divine guidance and inspiration. When you whisper sacred words in the darkness, you're working in harmony with your body's natural rhythms and biochemistry. You're not fighting against your biology, you're aligning with it. You're using the same mechanisms that create illness and limitation to create health and abundance instead. The words themselves become like medicine for your cells. When spoken with genuine feeling, they trigger the release of healing hormones like oxytocin, endorphins, and DHEA. These chemicals literally change your genetic expression, turning on genes associated with health, longevity, and well-being while turning off genes associated with disease and aging. Scientists have discovered that people who practice regular gratitude have measurably different gene expression than those who don't. Their cells produce more anti-inflammatory proteins and fewer stress proteins. Their immune systems function more efficiently. Their cardiovascular health improves. Their sleep quality increases. Tonight, as you prepare to whisper these transformative words, remember that you're not just engaging in a spiritual practice. You're conducting a biological experiment. You're testing whether your consciousness has the power to influence your cellular function. You're discovering whether your beliefs can literally change your body. The answer, according to both ancient wisdom and modern science, is a resounding yes. Your consciousness is the most powerful pharmaceutical in the world, and the words you speak to yourself are the medicine you prescribe. Tonight, you begin prescribing a new kind of medicine, one that heals not just your mind and emotions, but your very cells. There's something you need to understand about the words you're about to receive. They're not ordinary words. They're not just positive affirmations or motivational statements designed to make you feel better temporarily. These are sacred invocations, specific combinations of sounds, meanings, and intentions that have been carefully crafted to bypass your logical mind and speak directly to the quantum field of infinite possibility. Your logical mind, while brilliant and necessary for navigating daily life, can actually be an obstacle to transformation. It's the part of you that says, "This is impossible. People like me don't get what I want. I've tried this before and it didn't work." Your logical mind is programmed to keep you safe within the boundaries of what you've already experienced. But safety often comes at the cost of growth. These sacred words work differently. They slip past your mental defenses like water flowing around rocks. They carry frequencies that resonate with the deepest levels of your being, activating dormant potentials and awakening possibilities that your logical mind might dismiss as unrealistic or impossible. The structure of these words follows principles that mystics and shamans have understood for millennia. Each phrase is designed to, first, acknowledge your current experience without judgment or resistance. This immediately relaxes your nervous system because you're not being asked to pretend everything is perfect when it isn't. Second, introduce a gentle shift in perspective that opens space for new possibilities. This happens so subtly that your analytical mind doesn't have time to object or argue. Third, anchor a new reality in present tense language that your subconscious can immediately begin working with. Instead of hoping for change someday, you're declaring that change is happening now. When you whisper these words in the liminal space between waking and sleeping, something magical occurs in your brain. Your left hemisphere, the part that analyzes, categorizes, and maintains logical consistency, begins to quiet down. Your right hemisphere, the part that recognizes patterns, processes emotions, and connects with something greater than yourself, becomes more active. This shift creates what researchers call a hypnagogic state, where your brain produces more theta waves. These are the same brain waves present during deep meditation, creative inspiration, and profound healing experiences. In this state, your subconscious mind becomes incredibly receptive to new programming. The words themselves carry what ancient traditions called vibrations or frequencies. Modern science is beginning to understand that all matter, including the thoughts and words in your mind, is essentially vibrating energy. Different words carry different vibrational signatures, which interact with your energy field in specific ways. Words of love, gratitude, and possibility carry high-frequency vibrations that literally elevate your consciousness and improve your physical health. Words of fear, anger, and limitation carry low-frequency vibrations that can depress your immune system and create dis-ease in your body. But it's not just the meaning of the words that matters. It's the emotional charge you give them when you speak them. The same affirmation spoken with doubt and skepticism will have a completely different effect than the same affirmation spoken with faith and feeling. This is why I encourage you to whisper these words with as much genuine emotion as you can access. If you can't immediately feel the truth of what you're saying, that's perfectly normal. Start by feeling grateful that you're open to change. Start by feeling hopeful that transformation is possible. Start with whatever authentic feeling you can access, and let that feeling grow stronger each night. The act of whispering itself adds another layer of power to this practice. When you whisper, you activate your vagus nerve, which connects your brain to your heart and regulates your autonomic nervous system. Whispering naturally slows your breathing, lowers your heart rate, and signals to your body that it's safe to relax and receive. Whispering also makes the practice feel more intimate and personal. You're not performing for anyone else or trying to convince the outside world of anything. You're having a private conversation with your own soul, with the universe, with the intelligence that beats your heart and grows your hair and heals your wounds. Some of the words you'll receive tonight might feel strange or unfamiliar at first. This is actually a good sign. It means they're introducing new concepts and possibilities that your current belief system hasn't integrated yet. Don't worry about understanding everything intellectually. Let the words work on you at levels deeper than the mind. Other words might immediately resonate so strongly that you feel emotional just hearing them. This is your soul recognizing truth, even if your mind doesn't fully comprehend it yet. Trust these emotional responses. They're indicating that these particular words are especially important for your unique healing and transformation journey. Remember, you're not trying to convince yourself of anything or force yourself to believe something that feels untrue. You're simply planting seeds in the fertile soil of your subconscious mind. Some seeds sprout quickly, others take time to germinate. Your job is simply to plant them with love and trust the process. The words you're about to receive have been tested not just intellectually, but experientially. They're born from the understanding that consciousness creates reality, that thought becomes form, that what you focus on expands. They're aligned with both ancient wisdom and quantum physics. They're simple enough for a child to understand, yet profound enough to transform your entire life experience. Before you speak the sacred words that will transform your life, you must first create the vibrational sanctuary where this transformation can safely unfold. This sanctuary isn't a physical place. It's an energetic atmosphere, a field of love and possibility that you generate through your intention and attention. Think of this vibrational sanctuary as your own personal heaven on earth, a space where only the highest frequencies of love, healing, and divine possibility can exist. When you're resting in this sanctuary, fear cannot touch you, doubt cannot reach you, and limitation cannot influence you. You're held in a field of pure potential where anything is possible and everything is working in your favor. Creating this sanctuary begins with your breath. Each inhale draws in pure life force energy, and each exhale releases anything that doesn't serve your highest good. But this isn't just physical breathing. You're breathing with your entire being, drawing energy through every cell, every pore, every atom of your body. Imagine that the air you're breathing is filled with golden light, sparkling with infinite possibilities. This light carries the essence of everything you've ever desired: perfect health, abundant love, financial freedom, creative expression, spiritual connection, inner peace. As you breathe this luminous air, feel these qualities beginning to permeate your entire being. Now expand your awareness beyond your physical body. Sense the energy field that surrounds you, what some traditions call your aura, what science calls your bioelectric field. This field extends several feet beyond your body in all directions, and it's constantly interacting with the energy fields of everything around you. Imagine this energy field beginning to glow with soft, warm light. This isn't something you have to force or create. You're simply becoming aware of the natural radiance that's always been there. Feel this light growing brighter and more vibrant with each breath, creating a protective cocoon of love around your entire being. Within this cocoon of light, you're completely safe to release old patterns, old beliefs, old versions of yourself that no longer serve your highest evolution. You're safe to dream bigger dreams, to imagine more beautiful possibilities, to remember who you really are beneath all the layers of conditioning and compromise. This vibrational sanctuary operates according to different laws than the ordinary world. Here, time is fluid and flexible. Past limitations have no power over your future possibilities. Here, your thoughts instantly become things. Your emotions immediately create corresponding experiences, and your words carry the power of creation itself. In this sanctuary, you're not trying to escape from reality. You're connecting with a deeper reality, the quantum realm where all possibilities exist simultaneously. You're tuning into the frequency of your soul's deepest knowing, the part of you that has never forgotten its connection to infinite love and unlimited potential. Feel yourself sinking deeper into this sacred space with each breath. Notice how your body naturally wants to relax when it senses this atmosphere of complete safety and acceptance. Your muscles soften, your nervous system calms, and your heart opens to receive the miracles that are already on their way to you. This sanctuary has its own intelligence, its own healing presence that knows exactly what you need for your highest growth and evolution. You don't have to figure anything out or make anything happen. You simply need to rest here open and receptive, allowing this loving intelligence to work through you and for you. Some nights, you might sense loving presences in this sanctuary with you. Guardian angels, spirit guides, ascended masters, or the souls of loved ones who have transitioned. Whether you perceive these presences or not doesn't matter. What matters is trusting that you're always surrounded by love, always supported, always guided toward your highest good. Other nights, you might simply feel held by the vast loving intelligence of the universe itself, that cosmic consciousness that breathes life into every star, every planet, every flower, every human heart. This intelligence knows you intimately, loves you unconditionally, and desires nothing more than to express itself as your joy, your abundance, your perfect health, your ideal relationships. In this sanctuary, your worthiness is never in question. You don't have to earn love, deserve abundance, or prove your value. You're loved simply because you exist. You're worthy simply because you're here. You're enough exactly as you are, while simultaneously being supported to become everything you're capable of becoming. As you rest in this vibrational sanctuary, feel yourself naturally aligning with the frequency of miracles. This isn't a special ability that some people have and others don't. This is your natural state, when you're not caught up in fear, doubt, or struggle. Miracles are simply love in action, and love is the fundamental force that creates and sustains all life. Notice how different you feel in this sanctuary compared to your ordinary waking consciousness. Here, problems seem smaller and solutions seem obvious. Here, what felt impossible moments ago now feels inevitable. Here, you remember that you're not a victim of circumstances, but a conscious creator of your experience. This shift in feeling is crucial because your emotional state is your most accurate indicator of what you're attracting into your life. When you feel peaceful, grateful, and excited about your future, you're broadcasting a frequency that attracts peaceful, abundant, and joyful experiences. When you feel worried, frustrated, or hopeless, you're broadcasting a frequency that attracts more things to worry about. Your vibrational sanctuary becomes a place where you can consciously choose your emotional state, rather than being at the mercy of external circumstances. Here you remember that happiness isn't something that happens to you. It's something that flows through you when you align with your true nature. The words you're about to whisper are most powerful when spoken from this sanctuary consciousness. They're not desperate pleas to a distant universe, but confident declarations from a being who knows its own power and divinity. They're not attempts to manipulate reality, but alignments with the reality that's already waiting to unfold through you. There's something profoundly intimate about a whisper that touches the very core of creation. When you whisper, you're not broadcasting to the world. You're sharing a secret with the universe. You're speaking from the deepest part of your being to the deepest part of existence itself. This intimacy is where true transformation lives. A whisper carries frequencies that penetrate barriers that louder voices cannot cross. It bypasses the defenses of the logical mind and speaks directly to the quantum field, where all possibilities exist. When you whisper your intentions, you're not trying to convince anyone of anything. You're simply stating your truth in the most authentic way possible. Think about the times in your life when someone whispered something important to you. Perhaps it was, "I love you" for the first time, or a secret that changed everything, or words of comfort in your darkest hour. Notice how whispered words seem to carry more weight, more meaning, more power than words spoken at normal volume. This isn't coincidence. It's physics and metaphysics working together. When you whisper, several extraordinary things happen simultaneously in your body and energy field. Your vocal cords vibrate at specific frequencies that resonate with the quantum field, in ways that scientists are just beginning to understand. Your breath naturally slows and deepens, activating your parasympathetic nervous system and creating the ideal conditions for manifestation. Your vagus nerve, that crucial connection between your brain, heart, and gut, responds to whispering by releasing feel-good neurotransmitters and reducing stress hormones. This creates a biochemical environment in your body that supports healing, creativity, and positive change at the cellular level. But perhaps most importantly, whispering puts you in direct communication with your subconscious mind. Your subconscious doesn't respond well to shouting, demanding, or forcing. It responds to gentle invitation, loving guidance, and whispered truth. When you whisper your intentions, you're speaking the language that your subconscious understands best. The intentions you're about to whisper aren't wishes or hopes. They're statements of fact about the reality you're choosing to experience. They're spoken in present tense because, in the quantum field, your ideal life already exists. You're not creating something from nothing. You're aligning with something that's already real and drawing it into your physical experience. Each whispered intention acts like a tuning fork, creating ripples in the field of consciousness that attract corresponding experiences into your life. When you whisper, "I am loved," you're not trying to convince yourself that this is true. You're remembering that it's always been true and allowing that truth to reorganize your reality. When you whisper, "I am abundant," you're not denying your current financial situation. You're connecting with the part of you that's always been connected to infinite supply and allowing that connection to manifest in tangible ways. When you whisper, "I am healthy," you're activating the intelligence within your body that knows how to heal and giving it permission to do its perfect work. The power of whispered intentions comes not from the volume of your voice, but from the depth of your conviction. It's not about how loud you speak, but how true the words feel in your body, how aligned they are with your authentic desires, how willing you are to receive what you're asking for. Some nights these whispered intentions might bring up emotions: joy, relief, sadness, hope. Welcome whatever arises without judgment. Emotions are simply energy in motion, and they often surface when we create space for healing and transformation. Let yourself feel whatever wants to be felt, knowing that all emotions are messengers bringing you important information about your inner landscape. Other nights you might feel a deep peace settling over you as you whisper these words, as if some part of you that's been holding its breath for years is finally able to exhale. This is your nervous system recognizing truth, your cells remembering their natural state of harmony and well-being. The words themselves are carriers of possibility, but it's your emotional investment in them that gives them power. The universe doesn't respond to your words. It responds to the feelings behind your words. When you can whisper, "I am worthy of love," and feel even a tiny spark of truth in your heart, you've planted a seed that will grow into experiences of being loved and cherished. If some of the intentions feel too big or too impossible right now, that's perfectly normal. Start where you are. If "I am abundant" feels like a stretch, perhaps begin with "I am open to abundance," or "I am grateful for the abundance that's coming." Your subconscious mind responds to authenticity above all else. The practice of whispered intentions isn't about convincing yourself that your current circumstances are different than they are. It's about connecting with the part of you that exists beyond current circumstances, the eternal, unlimited aspect of your being that has access to infinite possibilities. Each night as you whisper these intentions, you're having a conversation with this unlimited aspect of yourself. You're reminding it what you desire, what you're ready to receive, what you're willing to become. And because this unlimited self is connected to the same source that creates galaxies and grows forests from tiny seeds, your whispered intentions carry the power to rearrange reality itself. Your mind might offer some resistance as we begin this practice together. This is completely natural and nothing to be concerned about. Resistance isn't a sign that you're doing something wrong. It's often a sign that you're approaching something important, something that has the power to create real change in your life. Resistance can show up in many ways. Your mind might say, "This is silly," or "This won't work for me," or "I've tried things like this before." You might feel restless or skeptical or impatient for results. You might find yourself thinking about your to-do list or replaying conversations from the day. All of this is normal, and none of it means you should stop. Think of resistance as a protective mechanism that's been installed to keep you safe within familiar patterns. Part of your psyche is invested in maintaining the status quo, even if the status quo isn't making you happy. Change, even positive change, can feel threatening to the parts of you that equate familiar with safe. But here's what I want you to understand about the approach we're taking. We're not trying to overcome resistance through force or willpower. We're dissolving it through gentleness, patience, and loving repetition. Like water wearing away stone, the gentle consistency of this practice will gradually soften even the most stubborn patterns of limitation. Repetition is one of the fundamental laws of learning and transformation. Your subconscious mind learns through repetition more than anything else. Every habit you have, every automatic pattern you run, every belief you hold has been installed through repetition. The good news is that the same mechanism that created limiting patterns can create liberating ones. When you repeat sacred words with gentle consistency, you're literally rewiring your neural pathways. Neuroscientists have discovered that neurons that fire together wire together. Each time you repeat a positive intention, you strengthen the neural networks associated with that possibility. Each time you choose a loving thought over a fearful one, you make it easier to choose love the next time. But the key is gentle repetition, not forced repetition. You're not trying to bludgeon your subconscious into submission. You're wooing it, courting it, inviting it to dance with new possibilities. You're offering it something more beautiful than what it's been focused on, and trusting that it will naturally gravitate toward greater beauty, truth, and love. If your mind wanders during this practice, simply and gently bring it back to the words. No judgment, no frustration, no criticism. Just a loving return to your intention, like a parent gently guiding a child who has wandered off the path. This gentle return is actually part of the practice. You're training your mind to focus on what you want, rather than on what you don't want. Some nights the words might feel alive and powerful in your mouth, generating excitement and anticipation for the changes they'll create. Other nights they might feel flat or mechanical, just sounds you're making without much feeling behind them. Both experiences are perfectly valid. The words are working whether you feel their power or not. Trust the process even when you can't feel the process. Your subconscious mind is always listening, always learning, always adjusting your inner programming based on what you consistently feed it. Even when you're just going through the motions, you're still planting seeds that will eventually sprout into new experiences. The magic of gentle repetition is that it creates change without trauma, transformation without upheaval. Instead of dramatic breakthroughs that feel overwhelming, you'll likely notice subtle shifts that feel natural and sustainable. You might wake up one morning feeling more optimistic for no apparent reason. You might find yourself having more positive interactions with people. You might notice opportunities appearing that weren't there before. These gentle shifts are actually more powerful than dramatic ones because they integrate into your life without triggering resistance. Your ego doesn't feel threatened by gradual improvement, so it doesn't create internal conflict or self-sabotage. You get to evolve at a pace that feels safe and natural. Remember, you're not just repeating words, you're participating in an ancient ritual of creation. Indigenous cultures around the world have always understood the power of repetitive chanting, prayer, and incantation to create healing and manifest desired outcomes. You're connecting with a tradition that goes back thousands of years. Every time you repeat these sacred intentions, you're adding your voice to a chorus of souls throughout history who have used the power of the spoken word to transform their lives. You're tapping into a collective field of intention that includes everyone who has ever believed in the possibility of positive change. If you find yourself getting bored with the repetition, remember that boredom is often just resistance in disguise. The ego mind craves novelty and stimulation, but the subconscious mind loves consistency and routine. The fact that these words become familiar doesn't diminish their power, it amplifies it. Like a river gradually carving a canyon through solid rock, the gentle repetition of these sacred words will gradually carve new pathways in your consciousness, new patterns in your neural networks, new possibilities in your life experience. Trust the river, trust the process, trust the power of gentle, loving, consistent repetition to transform your world from the inside out. For transformation to be lasting and authentic, your heart and mind must work together in sacred partnership rather than in conflict with each other. Too often, we try to think our way into feeling different, or feel our way into thinking differently. But true transformation happens when heart and mind align in service of your highest vision for your life. Your heart is not just a physical organ pumping blood through your body. It's an intelligence center, that processes information and makes decisions in ways that your brain cannot. Research at the HeartMath Institute has shown that your heart actually sends more signals to your brain than your brain sends to your heart. And these heart signals significantly influence your perception, emotions, and decision-making ability. When your heart and mind are in conflict, when you think one thing but feel another, you create internal turbulence that interferes with your ability to manifest your desires. It's like trying to tune into a radio station while standing next to a powerful transmitter broadcasting on a different frequency. The signals get scrambled, and you can't receive clear guidance from your intuition or the universe. But when your heart and mind align around a common intention, they create what scientists call coherence, a state where your heart rhythms, brain waves, and nervous system synchronize in harmonious patterns. In this state of coherence, your entire being becomes a clear transmitter of your deepest desires and highest intentions. This alignment doesn't happen through force or willpower. It happens through gentle invitation, loving communication between the different aspects of your being. Right now, I want you to place one hand on your heart and one hand on your forehead, creating a physical connection between these two centers of intelligence. Imagine that you're facilitating a conversation between your heart and mind, helping them remember that they're on the same team, working toward the same goal of your happiness, fulfillment, and well-being. Your mind brings valuable gifts: analytical ability, planning skills, logical reasoning. Your heart brings equally valuable gifts: intuitive wisdom, emotional intelligence, connection to your authentic desires. When your mind says, "I want to be abundant," invite your heart to share how abundance would feel. When your heart yearns for love, invite your mind to envision what that love might look like in your daily life. This isn't about choosing one over the other. It's about weaving them together into a unified field of intention. Sometimes your mind might resist what your heart desires, saying things like, "That's not realistic," or "People like me don't get things like that." When this happens, don't argue with your mind or try to convince it. Instead, gently remind it that you're exploring possibilities, not making absolute commitments. You're not asking your mind to abandon its protective function. You're asking it to expand its definition of what's possible. Other times, your heart might feel desires that your mind doesn't understand or know how to achieve. This is perfectly normal. Your heart often receives downloads from your highest self, visions of what wants to emerge through your life that your logical mind hasn't figured out yet. Trust these heart desires even when the path isn't clear. The sacred words you're about to whisper are designed to create this heart-mind alignment naturally. Each phrase speaks to both your emotional nature and your rational mind, giving both aspects of your being something they can embrace and work with. As you repeat these words, feel them settling into both your heart and your head, creating bridges of understanding and cooperation. This alignment is particularly powerful during the transition to sleep, because it's when your heart naturally takes the lead. During sleep, your heart rate variability patterns influence your brain waves, your dreams, and your body's healing processes. When you fall asleep with your heart and mind aligned around positive intentions, your entire system works together throughout the night to manifest those intentions. Notice how your breathing naturally deepens when your heart and mind are working together, rather than working against each other. This is your nervous system recognizing the state of internal peace and responding by shifting into rest and restore mode. In this mode, your body's natural healing abilities are enhanced, your creativity flows more freely, and your connection to intuitive guidance becomes stronger. The union of heart and mind also creates what mystics call right intention, desire that comes from your authentic self rather than from ego needs or societal programming. Right intention has tremendous manifestational power because it's aligned with your soul's purpose and the universe's natural flow toward greater love, beauty, and truth. When you speak from this place of heart-mind union, your words carry a different quality. They feel more real, more true, more powerful. Your subconscious mind recognizes the authenticity and responds more readily. The quantum field recognizes the coherence and begins organizing circumstances to match your unified intention. This sacred union doesn't require you to be perfect or to have all your internal conflicts resolved. It simply requires your willingness to invite your heart and mind into greater cooperation, to listen to both voices with equal respect, to seek solutions that honor both your practical needs and your deepest longings. As you continue with this practice night after night, you'll notice that this heart-mind alignment becomes more natural and effortless. What once required conscious attention will become your default mode of being. You'll find yourself naturally thinking with your heart and feeling with your mind, creating an integrated intelligence that can navigate life's challenges with both wisdom and compassion. Within every cell of your body lies a memory bank more sophisticated than any computer ever created. These cellular memories contain not just information about your personal history, but also the accumulated wisdom of every generation that came before you, the archetypal patterns that shape human experience, and most importantly for our work tonight, the blueprint of who you're meant to become. Your cells remember what it feels like to be completely healthy, abundantly provided for, unconditionally loved, and fully expressed. These memories aren't just nostalgic recollections. They're active templates that your body is constantly trying to return to. Every healing response, every moment of joy, every experience of flow and synchronicity is your cells remembering their natural state and briefly returning to it. But here's what most people don't realize. Your cells also remember your dreams. Not just the dreams you have while sleeping, but the dreams you carry in your heart, your deepest desires, your most authentic aspirations, your soul's vision for this lifetime. These dreams aren't separate from your biology. They're encoded into your very DNA, waiting for the right conditions to activate and express. When you speak sacred words before sleep, you're activating these cellular memories of your dreams. You're reminding your body of possibilities it has always known, but may have forgotten under layers of conditioning, disappointment, and survival programming. You're giving your cells permission to remember and to begin reorganizing themselves around these higher possibilities. During sleep, your cells undergo their most intensive repair and regeneration processes. Your immune system strengthens, your tissues heal, your brain detoxifies, and your entire body essentially rebuilds itself based on the blueprint it's been given. When you fall asleep with positive intentions and elevated emotions, you're literally giving your cells a new blueprint to work with. This isn't metaphorical, it's biological fact. The thoughts and emotions you experience before sleep directly influence the hormones and neurotransmitters your body produces during the night. These chemical messengers bind to receptor sites on your cells and influence which genes get turned on or off, which proteins get produced, which healing responses get activated. Your dreams during sleep also play a crucial role in this cellular reprogramming process. While you dream, your brain consolidates memories, processes emotions, and explores possibilities that your waking mind might dismiss as unrealistic. Your dream state is where your subconscious mind gets to experiment with new realities, trying them on like clothing to see how they feel. When you've planted positive intentions before sleep, your dreams often become workshops where your subconscious tests out these new possibilities. You might dream of yourself confident and successful, loved and cherished, healthy and vibrant. These aren't just random neural firings. They're your subconscious mind exploring the cellular memories of who you're meant to be. But the influence goes both ways. The dreams you remember and give attention to during waking hours also influence your cellular programming. When you recall a dream where you felt powerful and joyful, your cells receive those same signals of power and joy. When you imagine achieving your heart's desires with vivid detail and genuine emotion, your cells respond as if those achievements are already real. This is why visualization and guided imagery have such profound healing effects. You're not just playing pretend. You're accessing cellular memories of wholeness and giving your body permission to express those memories in physical form. Your cells don't distinguish between a real experience and one that's vividly imagined with strong emotion. The sacred words you're about to receive are designed to awaken these cellular memories systematically. Each phrase is chosen not just for its meaning to your conscious mind, but for its ability to resonate with the deepest levels of your being, to activate dormant potentials, to remind your cells of truths they've always known. As you whisper these words night after night, you'll likely notice that your dreams begin to change. They might become more vivid, more meaningful, more aligned with your conscious desires. You might start receiving guidance, insights, or creative inspiration through your dreams. You might even find that solutions to problems appear in your dreams, or that you wake up with clarity about decisions you've been struggling with. Pay attention to these dream changes, but don't worry if you don't remember your dreams clearly. The work is happening whether you remember it or not. Your cellular intelligence is always active, always processing, always working to align your physical experience with your highest intentions. Some people notice physical changes as well, improvements in energy, sleep quality, digestion, or overall well-being. Others notice emotional shifts, feeling more optimistic, resilient, or peaceful for no apparent external reason. Still others notice external changes, opportunities appearing, relationships improving, circumstances aligning in their favor. All of these changes are expressions of the same process, your cellular memories awakening and beginning to express the truth of who you really are beneath all the programming and conditioning. You're not becoming someone new, you're remembering who you've always been, and allowing that truth to manifest in your physical experience. Trust this process, even when it feels subtle or gradual. Your cells have been waiting for this permission to remember, this invitation to express their highest potential. Every whispered word, every elevated emotion, every moment of genuine hope is a signal to your cellular intelligence that it's safe to dream again, safe to heal, safe to transform your life from the inside out. There exists within you a version of yourself that has already overcome every challenge you're currently facing, that has already achieved every goal you're working toward, that already embodies every quality you wish to develop. This isn't a fantasy or wishful thinking. This is your highest self, the fullest expression of your potential that exists in the quantum field of infinite possibilities. Your highest self isn't separate from you, or waiting somewhere in a distant future. It exists right now, in this moment, as a vibrational possibility that you can align with and eventually embody. Every moment of inspiration you've ever felt, every time you've surprised yourself with your own capabilities, every instance of synchronicity or flow in your life has been a glimpse of this highest self bleeding through into your current experience. The sacred words you're about to whisper are portals, gateways that allow you to consciously connect with this expanded version of yourself. When you speak these words with genuine intention and elevated emotion, you're not just hoping for change. You're actively tuning into the frequency of who you're meant to become. Your highest self has already walked the path you're walking. It has already learned the lessons you're learning, already healed the wounds you're healing, already manifested the abundance you're seeking. When you open a portal to this aspect of yourself, you gain access to its wisdom, its confidence, its clarity, its power. This isn't about becoming someone you're not. It's about becoming more fully who you've always been beneath all the layers of conditioning, limitation, and compromise. Your highest self is your most authentic self, the you that exists when fear is absent, when love is present, when you remember your true nature as an infinite being having a temporary human experience. Opening these portals requires a particular kind of consciousness, one that can hold paradox without needing to resolve it. You must be willing to fully accept where you are now, while simultaneously opening to where you're going. You must love yourself as you are, while also allowing yourself to transform. You must embrace your humanity while remembering your divinity. This dual awareness is actually the key to sustainable transformation. When you reject your current circumstances or judge yourself harshly for not being further along, you create resistance that slows your evolution. But when you can hold compassionate acceptance for where you are, while maintaining clear intention for where you're heading, you create a clear channel for your highest self to emerge. The portals open most easily during the liminal hours, dawn, dusk, and the threshold between waking and sleeping. These are times when the veil between dimensions is naturally thinner, when your consciousness is more fluid, when your connection to non-physical realms is stronger. This is why spiritual practices have always emphasized these transitional times. As you whisper the sacred words tonight, imagine that each phrase is a key that unlocks a door between your current self and your highest self. Feel yourself stepping through these doorways, not abandoning who you are, but expanding into who you're becoming. Notice how different you feel when you align with this expanded version of yourself. Your highest self communicates primarily through feeling, intuition, and inspiration, rather than through words and logic. As you open these portals, pay attention to the subtle shifts in your emotional state, the gentle nudges of intuition, the sudden insights that appear in your awareness. These are messages from your highest self, guidance about how to align your daily life with your soul's purpose. Sometimes the communication is very subtle, a feeling of rightness about a decision, a sense of peace in a situation that previously caused anxiety, a quiet knowing that everything is working out perfectly, even when external circumstances suggest otherwise. Other times it might be more dramatic, vivid dreams, powerful synchronicities, or sudden clarity about your life direction. The more regularly you open these portals through your nightly practice, the stronger your connection becomes. What might feel like a stretch of imagination tonight will eventually feel like coming home to yourself. Your highest self will become less like a distant possibility and more like a trusted friend, advisor, and collaborator in creating your ideal life. This relationship with your highest self also changes how you navigate challenges and setbacks. Instead of seeing problems as evidence that you're failing or that transformation is impossible, you begin to see them as opportunities for your highest self to demonstrate its wisdom and power through you. You start asking, how would my highest self handle this situation? And then allowing that wisdom to guide your response. Your highest self doesn't avoid difficulties. It transforms them. It doesn't escape from human experience. It elevates it. It doesn't transcend your personality. It integrates and expresses through it in increasingly beautiful ways. As you align more consistently with this aspect of yourself, you don't become less human. You become more fully and authentically human. The portals you open tonight will remain available to you always. Once you've established this conscious connection with your highest self, it becomes easier and easier to access. What requires focused intention and sacred ritual tonight will eventually become as natural as breathing. Remember, your highest self isn't judging your current circumstances or impatient with your rate of progress. It holds infinite compassion for your human journey and infinite faith in your ability to eventually embody all that you truly are. It's not trying to fix you or change you. It's simply offering you a glimpse of the magnificence that has always been your true nature. Sleep is not merely a time of rest and recuperation. It is a sacred laboratory where the raw materials of your daily experience are transmuted into the gold of wisdom, healing, and transformation. Every night, your consciousness participates in an alchemical process that mystics and healers have recognized for millennia as one of the most powerful opportunities for personal evolution available to human beings. During the hours of sleep, your awareness naturally shifts from the dense material realm of physical experience into the more subtle realms where thought becomes form, where intention becomes reality, where the impossible becomes inevitable. In these realms, the ordinary laws of physics that govern your waking life become fluid and malleable, responding to the deeper laws of consciousness and creation. This is why ancient traditions placed such emphasis on the practices surrounding sleep. The prayers before bed, the meditation at dawn, the attention given to dreams and their meanings. They understood that sleep was not just a biological necessity, but a spiritual opportunity, a time when the soul could receive direct transmission from higher dimensions of wisdom and love. Modern science is beginning to rediscover what these ancient traditions always knew. During sleep, your brain produces growth hormone that repairs and regenerates your body at the cellular level. Your glymphatic system flushes toxins from your neural tissues. Your memory consolidation processes integrate the day's experiences and learnings. But perhaps most remarkably, your pineal gland increases production of natural compounds that some researchers believe facilitate expanded states of consciousness and spiritual experience. When you approach sleep as a conscious spiritual practice rather than merely falling unconscious at the end of a tiring day, you align yourself with these natural alchemical processes. You become a conscious participant in your own transformation, rather than a passive recipient of whatever random thoughts and emotions happen to be circulating through your psyche. The sacred words you whisper before sleep become catalysts in this alchemical process. Like a skilled alchemist adding specific ingredients to create a desired reaction, you're adding precise intentions and elevated emotions to the crucible of your sleeping consciousness. These ingredients don't just disappear into the void. They work throughout the night, slowly transforming the base metal of limited thinking into the gold of unlimited possibility. This transformation happens in stages, much like the classical alchemical process. First comes the dissolution. Old patterns, beliefs, and emotional charges begin to break down in the gentle solvent of relaxed awareness. You don't have to force this dissolution. It happens naturally when you stop holding on to familiar thoughts and reactions, and allow yourself to drift into the unknown territory of sleep. Next comes the purification. As your conscious mind steps aside, your deeper intelligence sorts through the day's experiences, keeping what serves your growth and releasing what no longer serves your highest good. This is why you sometimes wake up with greater clarity about situations that felt confusing the day before, or why problems that seemed insurmountable suddenly have obvious solutions. Then comes the coagulation. New insights, abilities, and ways of being begin to crystallize in your consciousness. You might wake up feeling different, more confident, more peaceful, more aligned with your authentic self. These aren't temporary mood changes, but actual shifts in your neural wiring, your energy field, your vibrational signature that attract corresponding changes in your external experience. The final stage is the manifestation. The new internal reality begins expressing itself through your thoughts, emotions, decisions, and actions during waking hours. You find yourself naturally thinking more positive thoughts, feeling more elevated emotions, making choices that support your well-being and success. These changes often feel effortless because they're arising from a deeper transformation rather than from willpower or surface-level behavior modification. This alchemical process is most powerful when you enter sleep with specific intentions and elevated emotions rather than with worry, stress, or mental exhaustion. The quality of consciousness you bring to the threshold of sleep significantly influences the quality of transformation that can occur during the night. This is why the practice we're sharing tonight is so carefully structured. The relaxation, the elevated emotions, the specific words, the loving intention, all of these elements work together to create optimal conditions for alchemical transformation. You're not just going to sleep, you're entering a sacred laboratory where miracles of healing and transformation naturally occur. Some nights you might be aware of this alchemical process happening, vivid dreams, spiritual experiences, or moments of profound peace and clarity. Other nights, the work happens below the threshold of consciousness, and you simply wake up feeling subtly different, more aligned, more optimistic about your life. Trust the process whether you're conscious of it or not. Your deeper intelligence knows exactly how to orchestrate this transformation for your highest good. Your job is simply to create the conditions, plant the seeds, and allow the natural alchemy of consciousness to work its magic while you rest. In the quiet spaces between thoughts, in the gentle pause between heartbeats, in the sacred silence that underlies all sound, there exists a transmission of love, wisdom, and guidance that is always available to you. This transmission doesn't come through words or concepts that your mind can grasp. It comes as direct knowing, pure understanding, immediate recognition of truth that bypasses all mental processing. These transmissions, which many traditions call divine downloads or spiritual downloads, are constantly flowing from the source of all creation into your consciousness. But in the busyness of daily life, with your attention scattered across countless tasks and concerns, these subtle communications often go unnoticed, like whispers drowned out by the noise of a crowded room. The practice of sacred silence, especially during the transition to sleep, creates the perfect conditions for receiving these divine downloads clearly and completely. As your mental chatter quiets and your nervous system relaxes, you become like a still pond that can perfectly reflect the sky, or like a sensitive radio receiver that can pick up signals from distant stars. These downloads don't come because you've earned them, or because you're spiritually advanced. They come because you're beloved, because you're connected, because you're an integral part of the cosmic intelligence that creates and sustains all life. Every human being has access to this divine guidance. It's your birthright, your natural inheritance as a conscious being. What you receive during these sacred silences is perfectly calibrated to your current needs, your soul's purpose, and your capacity to integrate new understanding. Sometimes it might be a feeling of overwhelming love that heals old wounds and reminds you of your worth. Sometimes it might be a clear knowing about a decision you've been struggling with. Sometimes it might be creative inspiration, innovative solutions, or prophetic glimpses of possibilities waiting to unfold. The downloads often come in forms that feel completely natural. A shift in your emotional state, a new perspective on an old problem, a sudden understanding of why certain events happened in your life, or simply a deep sense of peace and rightness about your path. Because they feel so natural, you might not even recognize them as divine communication at first. This is why it's important to pay attention to the subtle changes in your awareness during and after your nightly practice. Notice if you feel different, more hopeful, more clear, more connected, more at peace. Notice if new insights or ideas arise spontaneously in the days following your practice. Notice if synchronicities increase, or if life begins flowing more easily in certain areas. The divine intelligence that sends these downloads knows you better than you know yourself. It sees the bigger picture of your life's journey, understands the perfect timing for certain realizations, and delivers exactly what you need when you're ready to receive it. You don't have to ask for specific downloads or try to control what you receive. You simply need to create space, remain open, and trust the wisdom of what comes. Sometimes the downloads come as pure feeling, waves of love, gratitude, or joy that seem to arise from nowhere and fill your entire being. These emotional downloads are actually recalibrating your nervous system, raising your baseline vibration, and healing emotional wounds that may have been buried for years. Allow these feelings to flow through you completely, even if they bring tears or other physical responses. Other times, the downloads come as knowing, sudden clarity about your life purpose, understanding about relationship dynamics, or insights about how to move forward with specific challenges. These knowings often feel absolutely certain and true, even if they can't be logically explained or proven. Trust these insights, even if they require you to make changes or take actions that feel scary. Creative downloads are also common during this practice. New ideas for projects, solutions to technical problems, artistic visions, or innovative approaches to work or relationships. Your rational mind might dismiss these as just imagination, but pay attention to the quality of energy they carry. True creative downloads often feel alive, exciting, and slightly beyond what you think you're capable of creating. Healing downloads work at the deepest levels of your being, often addressing issues you weren't even consciously aware of. You might find that old emotional triggers suddenly don't affect you the same way, that chronic physical symptoms begin to improve, or that relationship patterns that have persisted for years suddenly shift. These changes might be gradual and subtle, or they might feel like sudden miraculous healings. The key to receiving these downloads clearly is learning to distinguish between the voice of divine wisdom and the chatter of your own mind. Divine downloads typically feel peaceful, loving, and expansive, even when they're pointing out areas where growth is needed. They don't criticize or condemn, they illuminate and guide. They don't create anxiety or urgency. They generate trust and calm confidence. Mental chatter, on the other hand, often feels anxious, repetitive, and concerned with problems rather than solutions. It tends to rehash the past or worry about the future rather than providing clear guidance for the present moment. Learning to recognize this difference takes practice, but it becomes easier over time. Silence is the natural habitat of divine communication. In cultures around the world, spiritual seekers have always understood that God, Source, Universe, whatever name you prefer, speaks most clearly in the quiet moments when all human effort ceases and pure receptivity begins. This is why meditation, prayer, and contemplation all emphasize the cultivation of inner silence. The silence you enter during tonight's practice isn't empty or void. It's pregnant with infinite possibility, alive with love, vibrating with the frequencies of creation itself. As you rest in this sacred silence, remember that you're not alone. You're held, you're guided, you're loved beyond anything your human mind can comprehend. Some nights, the downloads might be so subtle that you're not sure anything happened. Other nights, they might be so powerful that they change your entire perspective on life. Both experiences are valid and valuable. Trust that you're always receiving exactly what you need for your highest evolution, even when you can't perceive it consciously. As you continue this practice over time, You'll likely find that your ability to receive divine downloads extends beyond your nightly ritual. You'll start noticing guidance and wisdom flowing to you throughout the day, in quiet moments at work, during walks in nature, while doing mundane tasks. Once you open this channel of communication, it tends to remain available whenever you need it. Remember, these downloads aren't just for your personal benefit. They're meant to flow through you into the world. The love, wisdom, creativity, and healing you receive are gifts meant to be shared, expressed, and embodied in service of the greater good. As you receive, so you give. As you're blessed, so you bless others. Beneath the surface of what you can see, touch, and measure lies an invisible architecture that determines the shape of your life experience. This architecture is made of beliefs, expectations, emotional patterns, and vibrational frequencies that act like blueprints, instructing the quantum field how to organize energy into the forms and circumstances you encounter. Most people are unaware of this invisible architecture because it operates below the threshold of conscious awareness. Like the foundation of a house that you can't see, but that determines whether the structure will stand or fall, these invisible patterns shape your reality in ways you might not realize. Your current life circumstances are a perfect reflection of this invisible architecture, not as punishment or reward, but simply as the natural result of how consciousness creates form. Understanding this invisible architecture is crucial for conscious transformation, because it explains why some changes happen easily while others seem impossible, why certain patterns persist despite your best efforts to change them, and why external success often feels hollow if it's not aligned with your authentic nature. The foundation of this architecture consists of your core beliefs about yourself, life, and what's possible. These beliefs often formed during childhood, when your conscious mind wasn't developed enough to question or evaluate the messages you received from family, culture, and early experiences. They became part of your identity, so fundamental that you don't even recognize them as beliefs. They feel like facts about reality. If you grew up hearing, money doesn't grow on trees, or good things don't last, or people like us don't get what we want, these statements may have become load-bearing walls in your invisible architecture. They shape how you perceive opportunities, what actions you take or don't take, and what outcomes you expect from your efforts. But beliefs are not facts, and this invisible architecture is not permanent. It can be renovated, rebuilt, or completely redesigned through conscious intention and consistent practice. The sacred words you're learning tonight are like architectural tools, allowing you to examine the current structure of your consciousness and begin making renovations that support your desired life experience. The second level of this architecture is composed of your emotional patterns, the habitual ways you respond to different situations and experiences. If you learned early in life to expect disappointment, your emotional system might automatically generate protective cynicism whenever something good begins to manifest. If you learned to equate love with suffering, your emotional patterns might sabotage healthy relationships, even when that's what you consciously desire. These emotional patterns operate like automatic programming, triggering specific biochemical responses that either support or sabotage your goals. When you consistently feel emotions of lack, fear, or unworthiness, your body produces stress hormones that literally signal your cells to prepare for survival rather than thriving. When you consistently feel emotions of gratitude, love, and possibility, your body produces feel-good chemicals that signal your cells to optimize for health, creativity, and abundance. The third level consists of your vibrational frequency, the energetic signature you broadcast into the quantum field through your combined thoughts, emotions, and beliefs. This frequency acts like a radio signal, attracting experiences, people, and circumstances that match its particular wavelength, like attracts like, not just metaphysically but measurably, through the resonance patterns that govern all energy interactions. Most people try to change their external circumstances without addressing this invisible architecture, which is like trying to change what appears on a movie screen without changing the film in the projector. You might succeed temporarily through willpower or external manipulation, but the fundamental patterns will eventually reassert themselves because the underlying architecture hasn't been transformed. The beautiful truth is that you have the power to consciously redesign this invisible architecture at any time. You're not a victim of your past programming or a prisoner of your current circumstances. You're a conscious being with the ability to choose new beliefs, cultivate new emotional patterns, and broadcast new frequencies into the field of infinite possibility. This redesign work is most effective when done during the liminal states of consciousness, like the transition to sleep, because these are times when your analytical mind relaxes its grip and your consciousness becomes more fluid and malleable. The words you whisper tonight are like seeds of new architecture, blueprints for a reality that supports your highest aspirations and authentic desires. As you speak these words with genuine feeling and clear intention, imagine that you're installing new programming into the operating system of your consciousness. Feel the old architecture of limitation beginning to dissolve, making space for new structures based on love, abundance, possibility, and joy. This process isn't always comfortable, because changing your invisible architecture often means releasing familiar patterns that have provided a sense of identity or security, even if they haven't made you happy. Be patient and compassionate with yourself as you navigate this transformation. Old patterns might resurface occasionally, not as evidence that you're failing, but as opportunities to choose differently and strengthen your new architecture. The more consistently you practice conscious redesign of your invisible architecture, the more quickly your external circumstances will begin to reflect these internal changes. You'll start attracting different kinds of opportunities, having different kinds of conversations, making different kinds of decisions. Your life will begin to feel more aligned, more flowing, more joyful. Not because you're forcing change, but because you're finally expressing your authentic vibrational signature. Remember, this invisible architecture isn't just personal. It's connected to the collective architecture of humanity, and your individual transformation contributes to the elevation of the entire human family. As you heal and evolve, you're helping to build new templates of possibility that others can access and express through their own unique journeys. True transformation requires a paradoxical dance between intention and surrender, between knowing what you want and releasing attachment to how it unfolds. This sacred paradox is one of the most profound spiritual principles, yet one of the most difficult for the human mind to grasp, because our conditioning teaches us to control, force, and manipulate our way to desired outcomes. Surrender in this context doesn't mean giving up on your dreams or accepting less than you deserve. It means releasing your grip on the specific ways you think your good must come to you, and trusting that the intelligence that grows flowers from seeds and healing from wounds also knows how to manifest your heart's deepest desires in ways more beautiful than you could possibly imagine. When you plant a seed in the earth, you don't dig it up every day to check its progress. You don't try to force the sprout to emerge or manipulate the timing of its growth. You provide the proper conditions, good soil, adequate water, sufficient light, and then you trust the inherent intelligence within the seed to orchestrate its own perfect unfolding. Your desires and intentions are like seeds you're planting in the fertile field of consciousness. Once planted with clear intention and elevated emotion, they begin their own process of germination and growth, according to divine timing and cosmic intelligence. Your job is to maintain the proper internal conditions and trust the process, not to control every detail of how your good manifests. This surrender requires a fundamental shift in how you relate to time and outcomes. Instead of demanding that changes happen according to your timeline, you learn to align with the natural rhythms of creation. Instead of insisting that opportunities appear in familiar forms, you remain open to possibilities you never could have anticipated. The ego mind resists surrender because it equates control with safety and surrender with vulnerability. But true safety comes not from controlling external circumstances, which is ultimately impossible anyway, but from trusting your connection to the creative force of the universe and knowing that you're always being guided toward your highest good. This trust isn't blind faith or passive waiting. It's an active collaboration with the forces of creation, a conscious participation in the mystery of how consciousness becomes form. You continue to take inspired action, follow intuitive guidance, and say yes to opportunities that resonate with your heart. But you do so from a place of flow rather than force. When you're in flow, right action feels effortless, Even when it requires effort, doors open at the perfect moment. Resources appear just when you need them. The right people show up at the right time. Synchronicities multiply, and life feels like a series of beautiful coincidences orchestrated by an intelligence far greater than your personal will. But when you're in force, everything feels like pushing against a current. You have to work harder to achieve less. Obstacles multiply, and solutions seem elusive. Even when you succeed through force, the achievements often feel hollow or temporary because they're not aligned with the natural flow of your authentic path. Learning to distinguish between flow and force is one of the most valuable skills you can develop. Flow feels light, effortless, and energizing, even when you're working hard. Force feels heavy, exhausting, and draining, even when you're achieving your stated goals. Flow generates enthusiasm and draws support from others. Force creates resistance and pushes people away. The sacred words you're about to whisper are designed to align you with flow rather than force. They're not demands or desperate pleas, but gentle invitations to the universe to express its infinite creativity through your unique life circumstances. They're spoken from trust rather than fear, from abundance rather than lack, from knowing rather than doubt. As you speak these words, feel yourself releasing any need to control how, when, or through whom your good comes to you. Instead of trying to force the universe to conform to your limited perspective, you're expanding your perspective to embrace possibilities you haven't even considered yet. This doesn't mean you become passive or stop setting goals and taking action. It means you hold your goals lightly, with open hands rather than clenched fists. You remain committed to your vision while staying flexible about the path. You maintain clear intention while surrendering attachment to specific outcomes. Sometimes this surrender process brings up fear. Fear that if you don't control everything, nothing good will happen, or that the universe doesn't care about your personal desires, or that you'll be disappointed if you allow yourself to hope. These fears are natural and understandable, but they're based on the illusion that you're separate from the creative force of existence. The truth is that your authentic desires arise from the same source that creates galaxies and grows forests. Your heart's deepest longings are not separate from the universe's desire to express itself in increasingly beautiful and complex forms. When you align with your authentic desires and trust the process of their manifestation, you're actually aligning with the fundamental creativity of existence itself. This surrender becomes easier when you begin to notice how much better the universe's timing and methods usually are compared to your own plans. How many times have you been grateful that something you thought you wanted didn't manifest the way you expected? How many times have you received something even better than you asked for? How many times has apparent delay or detour led to perfect timing and better outcomes? Surrendering to the flow of becoming means trusting that your life is unfolding according to a pattern of perfect intelligence, even when you can't see the bigger picture. It means believing that every experience, including the challenging ones, is serving your growth and evolution in ways you may not understand until much later. Now we arrive at the heart of our practice together, the sacred affirmations that will become the seeds of your transformation. These are not ordinary positive statements, but powerful declarations that align you with the fundamental forces of creation. Each word has been chosen for its ability to resonate with the deepest levels of your being and activate dormant potentials within your consciousness. These affirmations work because they're based on truth, not the temporary truth of your current circumstances, but the eternal truth of who you really are, beneath all conditioning and limitation. They remind you of your divine nature, your infinite potential, your connection to the source of all abundance, love, and healing. When you speak these words with genuine feeling and clear intention, you're not trying to convince yourself of something that isn't true. You're remembering something that has always been true, but may have been forgotten or obscured by years of programming that taught you to believe in limitation rather than possibility. The first sacred affirmation, I am worthy of love exactly as I am. Whisper these words now and feel them settling into your heart like seeds planted in fertile soil. You don't have to earn love through achievement, perfection, or service to others. You don't have to fix yourself or become someone different to deserve love. Your worthiness is inherent, unchangeable, written into the very fabric of your being. Feel this truth sinking deeper with each breath. Let it dissolve old beliefs about having to prove your value or earn your place in this world. You are loved by the same intelligence that loves every flower, every star, every mountain. This love is not dependent on your behavior, your success, or your ability to meet others' expectations. The second sacred affirmation: abundance flows to me effortlessly and naturally. Let these words rewire your relationship with prosperity and provision. Abundance is not something you have to struggle for or compete with others to obtain. It's the natural state of a universe that has created billions of galaxies, countless species, infinite diversity of expression. Scarcity is the illusion. Abundance is the reality. Feel yourself aligning with the flow of cosmic abundance that wants to express itself through your unique gifts, talents, and contributions. You're not taking from a limited supply. You're allowing infinite supply to find expression through your willingness to receive and share. The third sacred affirmation: my body knows how to heal, and I trust its wisdom. Your body is a miracle of intelligence and adaptation. Every cell contains the blueprint for perfect health and knows how to repair, regenerate, and optimize its function when given the proper conditions. Trust this innate wisdom rather than focusing on symptoms or limitations. Feel gratitude flowing through every cell as you acknowledge your body's constant efforts to maintain balance and healing. See your cells responding to this love and appreciation by functioning even more efficiently and harmoniously. The fourth sacred affirmation: I attract relationships that honor and celebrate my authentic self. You deserve to be known, seen, appreciated, and loved for who you really are, not for the masks you wear or the roles you play. The right people, friends, romantic partners, colleagues, family members, will recognize and celebrate your unique essence. Feel yourself releasing any need to dim your light or compromise your authenticity to maintain relationships that don't honor your true nature. Trust that as you become more authentic, you automatically attract others who can appreciate and support your genuine self. The fifth sacred affirmation: my work serves the world while fulfilling my soul. Your gifts, talents, and passions are not accidents. They're how the universe wants to contribute to the healing and evolution of humanity through your unique expression. When you align your work with your soul's purpose, abundance flows naturally and work becomes worship. Feel the excitement of knowing that your ideal work exists and is seeking you just as much as you're seeking it. Trust that every step you take toward authentic expression is guided and supported by forces beyond your individual will. The sixth sacred affirmation: divine guidance flows through me in every moment. You're never alone, never without guidance, never left to figure everything out on your own. The same intelligence that coordinates the movement of planets and the migration of birds is constantly communicating with you through intuition, synchronicity, and inspired insight. Feel yourself opening to receive this guidance more clearly and trust it more completely. You don't have to have all the answers. You just need to be willing to listen and follow the wisdom that's always available to you. The seventh sacred affirmation: I am grateful for the miracles already on their way to me. The gratitude is not just appreciation for what has already manifested. It's recognition that the creative forces of the universe are constantly working on your behalf to bring about circumstances that align with your highest good. Your desires have already been answered in the quantum field. Now you're simply allowing them to manifest in physical form. Feel the excitement and appreciation for blessings that are currently invisible, but already real in the realm of possibility. This grateful anticipation accelerates the manifestation process and keeps you aligned with positive expectancy. The eighth sacred affirmation: every day, in every way, I am becoming more of who I came here to be. You're not trying to become someone you're not. You're becoming more fully who you've always been beneath all the conditioning and programming. This is a process of remembering, uncovering, revealing the magnificent being that exists at your core. Feel the joy of continuous evolution, of daily growth, of gradually aligning more completely with your authentic nature and highest potential. Every experience, including the challenging ones, is serving this sacred process of becoming. The ninth sacred affirmation: I trust the perfect timing of my life. Everything is unfolding according to divine order, even when it doesn't match your personal timeline or expectations. What appears to be delay is often preparation. What seems like detour is often protection. What looks like problem is often solution in disguise. Feel yourself relaxing into the rhythm of divine timing, trusting that your good comes to you when you're ready to receive it fully and use it wisely. Release any urgency or impatience and align with the patience of nature itself. The 10th sacred affirmation: I sleep in peace and wake in joy, knowing that love is transforming my life. As you drift into sleep, you're not just resting your body, you're surrendering to the transformative power of love to work through your consciousness and circumstances throughout the night. You're safe, you're held, you're guided, you're loved beyond measure. Feel this love surrounding you like the most comfortable blanket, permeating every cell, healing every wound, awakening every potential. Trust that you'll wake tomorrow as a new version of yourself, more aligned with truth, more embodying love, more expressing your divine nature. As you prepare to cross the threshold from waking consciousness into the realm of dreams, you're entering one of the most powerful laboratories for transformation available to human consciousness. Your dreams are not merely random neural firings or meaningless mental entertainment. They're your subconscious mind's workshop, where new realities are tested, old patterns are processed, and future possibilities are explored. Tonight, instead of leaving your dreams to chance, you're going to consciously program them with specific intentions that support your transformation. You're going to plant seeds in your sleeping consciousness that will bloom into insights, healing, and manifestation support throughout the night and into your waking life. The key to effective dream programming lies in understanding how your subconscious mind communicates. It doesn't think in words and linear logic like your conscious mind. It thinks in images, emotions, symbols, and sensations. When you program your dreams, you must speak in this same symbolic language to ensure clear communication. Begin by setting a clear intention for what you'd like your dreams to support tonight. Perhaps you want guidance about a decision you're facing, healing for a physical or emotional issue, creative inspiration for a project, or simply deeper integration of the transformations you're calling into your life. Hold this intention gently, but clearly in your awareness. Now translate this intention into a visual image that represents your desired outcome. If you're seeking healing, perhaps imagine yourself glowing with vibrant health and energy. If you're seeking guidance about a decision, perhaps see yourself confidently walking down a clear, beautiful path. If you're seeking creative inspiration, perhaps visualize yourself surrounded by flowing light and receiving downloads of innovative ideas. Make this image as vivid and detailed as possible. Engage all your senses. What do you see, hear, feel, smell, taste in this vision of your desired outcome? The more sensory detail you can include, the more real it becomes to your subconscious mind, which will then work throughout the night to make it manifest in some form. Most importantly, allow yourself to feel the emotions you would experience if this desired outcome were already real. Emotion is the fuel that powers manifestation and transformation. Without genuine feeling, your dream programming remains merely mental exercise. With authentic emotion, it becomes a powerful creative force that can reshape your reality from the inside out. As you hold this image and feeling, speak directly to your subconscious mind and your dream consciousness. Tonight, as I sleep, my dreams support my healing and transformation. I receive exactly the guidance, insights, and experiences I need for my highest good. I wake tomorrow with clear knowing and renewed energy to live my truth. You can also request specific types of dreams to support your intentions. If you're seeking guidance, ask for dreams that provide clear direction or reveal new perspectives on your situation. If you're working on healing, ask for dreams that release old wounds and activate your body's natural healing abilities. If you're calling in abundance, ask for dreams that help you embody the feeling of prosperity and open you to unexpected possibilities. Some people find it helpful to keep a journal and pen beside their bed, with the intention of recording any dreams or insights they receive upon waking. Even if you don't typically remember your dreams, the simple act of setting this intention often increases dream recall. However, don't worry if you don't remember specific dreams. The work is happening whether you recall it consciously or not. Your subconscious mind is incredibly creative. and may provide guidance or healing through dreams that seem completely unrelated to your conscious intentions. A dream about flying might represent freedom from limitations. A dream about cleaning or organizing might represent emotional or energetic clearing. A dream about being in a beautiful garden might represent new growth and possibilities blooming in your life. Pay attention not just to the content of your dreams, but to how you feel upon waking. Do you feel more peaceful, more hopeful, more clear about your direction? Do you have new insights or perspectives that weren't available to you the night before? Do you feel emotionally lighter or energetically different? These feeling shifts often indicate that significant work has been done at subconscious levels, even if you can't recall specific dream content. Sometimes the guidance or healing you receive through dream programming doesn't become apparent until days or weeks later, when you suddenly understand why certain dreams occurred or how they prepared you for future experiences. Trust that your subconscious wisdom knows the perfect timing for revealing insights and integrating transformations. You can also program your dreams to continue working on your intentions throughout the entire night, not just during REM sleep periods. As you drift off, repeat silently, all night long, my consciousness works to align me with my highest good. Every sleep cycle brings me closer to my desired reality. I wake refreshed, renewed, and transformed. If you wake during the night, use these moments as opportunities to reinforce your dream programming. Instead of worrying about being awake or trying to force yourself back to sleep, simply return to your intention and vision, feeling grateful that your consciousness is actively working on your behalf. Remember that dream programming is a gentle, natural process that works with your body's existing sleep cycles and healing mechanisms. You're not forcing anything to happen. You're simply providing clear direction for the transformation that naturally occurs during sleep. Trust the process, trust your subconscious wisdom, and trust that you'll receive exactly what you need for your continued growth and evolution. When you wake tomorrow morning, you may wonder how to recognize whether the practice is working, whether the seeds you planted in consciousness are beginning to sprout, whether the transformation you're calling into your life has actually begun. The truth is that profound change often happens so gradually and naturally that it can be easy to miss if you're looking for dramatic, obvious shifts. Real transformation usually announces itself through subtle changes in your inner landscape rather than immediate external manifestations. The first signs often appear as shifts in how you feel, think, and respond to circumstances rather than changes in the circumstances themselves. This is actually perfect, because lasting change must happen from the inside out to be sustainable and authentic. You might wake with a feeling of quiet optimism that has no obvious source. Perhaps you find yourself looking forward to the day ahead with more enthusiasm than you've felt in months. Maybe you notice that concerns that kept you awake the night before somehow feel more manageable or less important. These emotional shifts, however subtle, indicate that your vibrational frequency is changing. Pay attention to your first thoughts upon waking. Are they different from your usual morning mental patterns? Perhaps instead of immediately thinking about problems or responsibilities, you find yourself feeling grateful for the rest you received or excited about possibilities for the day. These shifts in automatic thinking patterns show that new neural pathways are being formed. Notice how you move through your morning routine. Do you feel more present, more centered, more connected to your body? Perhaps you find yourself naturally taking deeper breaths, moving more slowly and mindfully, or appreciating simple pleasures like the taste of your coffee or the warmth of your shower. These are signs that you're becoming more embodied and less caught up in mental stress. Observe how you interact with others throughout the day. Do people respond to you differently? Do you find yourself more patient, more kind, more present in conversations? Perhaps conflicts that usually trigger you don't affect you the same way, or you discover new solutions to old relationship patterns. Others often notice our internal shifts before we do ourselves. Watch for synchronicities and meaningful coincidences throughout the day. As your consciousness shifts, you often begin to notice connections and patterns that were always there, but previously invisible to you. A song on the radio might contain exactly the message you needed to hear. A conversation with a stranger might provide unexpected insight. A book or article might randomly appear that speaks directly to your current situation. Changes in your physical body can also indicate that transformation is occurring at deep levels. You might notice improvements in sleep quality, energy levels, digestion, or overall sense of well-being. Chronic symptoms may begin to ease. Your posture might improve as you feel more confident and aligned. Your breathing might naturally become deeper and more relaxed. Creative inspiration often increases as you align more closely with your authentic self. You might find yourself having new ideas for projects, solving problems more easily, or feeling drawn to express yourself in ways you haven't explored before. This creativity is your soul's way of celebrating the freedom to express more of who you really are. Financial and career opportunities sometimes begin to shift as your internal changes affect how you show up in the world. You might find yourself having more productive conversations with colleagues, attracting new opportunities, or gaining clarity about professional directions that would serve both your practical needs and your deeper purpose. Some days, the shifts might be dramatic and easily recognizable. You might wake with sudden clarity about a decision you've been struggling with, receive an unexpected opportunity, or find that a persistent problem has suddenly resolved itself. While these obvious manifestations are wonderful when they occur, don't judge the effectiveness of your practice based solely on dramatic results. More often, transformation reveals itself through gradual improvements in your overall quality of life. You might realize one day that you haven't felt anxious about something that used to worry you constantly. You might notice that you're naturally making healthier choices without forcing yourself. You might discover that you're speaking up for yourself more easily, or setting boundaries that previously felt impossible. The key is to maintain what spiritual teachers call witness consciousness, the ability to observe your experience with loving detachment rather than desperate attachment to specific outcomes. When you're too invested in seeing immediate results, you might miss the subtle miracles that are actually occurring. Keep a simple journal of positive changes you notice, no matter how small they seem. Write down moments of unexpected joy, insights that arise spontaneously, improvements in relationships, increases in energy or clarity, or any other shifts that feel aligned with your intentions. This practice helps train your attention to recognize progress and reinforces the positive changes that are occurring. Remember that healing and transformation often happen in waves rather than straight lines. You might have days when you feel amazing, and others when old patterns seem to reassert themselves. This is completely normal and doesn't mean you're going backward. Often, old patterns surface to be released, and temporary challenges are actually evidence that deeper healing is occurring. Trust that every time you practice these sacred affirmations, you're planting seeds that will continue to grow and manifest in perfect timing. Some seeds sprout quickly. Others take months or even years to fully manifest. Your job is simply to maintain the practice, trust the process, and remain open to receiving your good in whatever forms it chooses to appear. Most importantly, remember that the greatest transformation is often the simplest, the growing sense of peace, self-acceptance, and connection to something greater than your individual concerns. This inner transformation is the foundation from which all other positive changes naturally flow. As you continue this practice night after night, week after week, you'll gradually find yourself living from a completely different vibrational frequency than the one you started with. This isn't just a metaphysical concept, it's a measurable shift in your electromagnetic field, your neurological patterns, your emotional baseline, and your energetic signature that affects every area of your life. This new vibrational truth becomes your new normal, but it's important to understand that this isn't a destination you reach and then maintain effortlessly. It's a dynamic, evolving way of being that requires conscious cultivation and gentle attention. Like physical fitness, vibrational fitness improves with consistent practice and can deteriorate if neglected for extended periods. Living from your new vibrational truth means making choices from love rather than fear, from abundance rather than scarcity, from possibility rather than limitation. It means trusting your intuition even when it doesn't make logical sense, speaking your truth even when it feels vulnerable, and taking actions that align with your authentic desires even when others don't understand. This shift affects how you see yourself fundamentally. Instead of identifying primarily with your problems, your past, or your limitations, you begin to identify with your potential, your connection to infinite possibilities, and your role as a conscious creator of your experience. You still acknowledge challenges when they arise, but you don't let them define you or determine your future. Your relationship with time changes as you embody this new vibrational truth. Instead of feeling constantly rushed, behind, or pressured by external deadlines, you begin to trust divine timing and align with natural rhythms. You become more present moment focused, finding joy and meaning in simple daily activities rather than constantly postponing happiness until some future achievement or acquisition. Money and abundance begin to flow differently in your life, not necessarily because you suddenly receive a windfall, but because your relationship with receiving changes. You become more open to unexpected sources of support, more willing to invest in your growth and well-being, more generous with others, and more trusting that your needs will be met as you follow your authentic path. Relationships transform as you embody higher frequencies of love and authenticity. Some relationships deepen and become more meaningful, as others feel safe to show up more authentically in your presence. Other relationships may naturally fade as you outgrow patterns of codependency, people-pleasing, or settling for less than you deserve. New relationships enter your life that match your evolved consciousness. Your physical health often improves as stress decreases, and your nervous system spends more time in regenerative states rather than survival modes. Your body's natural healing abilities function more efficiently when your consciousness is aligned with love, gratitude, and positive expectation rather than worry, resentment, and fear. Work and creative expression become more aligned with your soul's purpose rather than just practical necessities. You may find yourself drawn to new career directions, developing talents you didn't know you had, or finding ways to bring more meaning and service into whatever work you're already doing. This doesn't mean your life becomes problem-free, or that you never experience challenges. What changes is how you relate to difficulties when they arise. Instead of seeing problems as evidence that something is wrong with you or your life, you begin to see them as opportunities for growth, course corrections, or invitations to develop greater wisdom and compassion. Living from your new vibrational truth also means becoming more discerning about what you allow into your consciousness. You naturally gravitate toward media, conversations, and environments that support your elevated state, rather than dragging you back into lower frequencies. This isn't about judgment or superiority. It's about honoring your sensitivity and protecting your inner peace. You become a source of healing and inspiration for others, not through preaching or trying to fix anyone, but simply through embodying a different way of being. People often comment that you seem more peaceful, more confident, more joyful, though they may not be able to identify exactly what has changed. Your presence becomes a gift to others and an invitation for them to remember their own divine nature. The ripple effects of your transformation extend far beyond your personal life. As you heal old wounds, you break generational patterns that may have been passed down through your family line for decades or centuries. As you embody higher consciousness, you contribute to the collective awakening of humanity. As you live from love rather than fear, you add to the frequency of love available on the planet. This is the ultimate purpose of the practice you've learned tonight. Not just personal improvement or individual happiness, but participation in the evolution of consciousness itself. You're not just changing your own life, you're helping to change the world by becoming a living example of what's possible when human beings remember their true nature and align with their highest potential. Maintaining this new vibrational truth requires ongoing commitment to practices that support your elevated state. The nightly affirmations are just the beginning. You'll likely find yourself naturally drawn to other practices: meditation, prayer, time in nature, creative expression, acts of service that help you stay aligned with love and possibility. Some days, maintaining this elevated frequency will feel effortless and natural. Other days, you might need to consciously choose it moment by moment, especially when faced with challenging circumstances or difficult people. This conscious choosing becomes easier with practice, like strengthening a muscle through regular exercise. Remember that living from your new vibrational truth doesn't mean pretending everything is perfect or forcing yourself to feel positive when you don't. Authenticity is always more powerful than performance. Sometimes the most loving thing you can do is acknowledge difficult emotions, process them completely, and then consciously choose to return to your center when you're ready. You may find that your tolerance for drama, negativity, and unconscious behavior decreases as you embody higher frequencies. This is natural and healthy. It doesn't mean you become judgmental or uncompassionate toward others who are still struggling. It simply means you no longer feel obligated to engage with energies that don't serve your highest good or contribute to your continued evolution. As you live more consistently from this new vibrational truth, you'll discover that what once seemed like miracles become natural occurrences in your life. Synchronicities multiply, the right people appear at the right times, resources manifest when needed, solutions emerge for problems that seemed insurmountable. This isn't because you're special or chosen, it's because you're finally aligned with the natural flow of creation. Your dreams and goals may evolve as you embody this new frequency. What you thought you wanted when operating from lower consciousness may no longer appeal to you. New desires may emerge that are more aligned with your authentic nature and soul's purpose. Trust these shifts rather than clinging to old goals that no longer resonate. The most profound aspect of living from your new vibrational truth is the deep sense of coming home to yourself. You no longer feel like you're playing a role or trying to be someone you're not. You feel increasingly comfortable in your own skin, confident in your worth, and trusting of your path. This inner peace becomes your most precious treasure and your greatest gift to the world. This transformation you're experiencing is not an end point, but a new beginning. You're not becoming enlightened and then staying there forever. You're entering a lifelong journey of continuous expansion, deepening, and evolution. Each level of consciousness you achieve opens the door to even greater possibilities. The sacred words you've learned tonight will continue to serve you throughout this journey. They're not just temporary tools for healing current challenges. They're keys to accessing higher dimensions of your being whenever you need them. As you evolve, you may find that these words take on deeper meanings, or that new layers of truth reveal themselves through the same phrases. Trust that you have everything within you right now to live the life your soul came here to experience. The practice, the commitment, the consistency, these are simply ways of removing the obstacles to expressing the magnificent being you've always been. You're not becoming someone new. You're becoming more fully yourself. As you drift into sleep tonight and every night moving forward, remember that you're held by an intelligence that loves you beyond human comprehension. You're guided by a wisdom that knows your highest path even when you can't see it clearly. You're supported by forces of creation that desire nothing more than to express themselves as your joy, your abundance, your perfect health, your ideal relationships, and your complete fulfillment. Sleep deeply, beloved soul. Rest completely in the knowing that transformation is happening in every cell of your being, in every quantum of your energy field, in every possibility that surrounds you. When you wake as a new creation, more aligned with truth, more embodying love, more expressing the infinite potential that has always been your birthright. The journey continues, and it's more beautiful than you ever imagined possible. Welcome to your new life. Welcome to your true self. Welcome home.